The project Fecal Matters started with an interest in mind to research fecal microbial transplantation. When I first heard about this concept, I was really intrigued because of our cultural aversion to shit, and shit as a waste product. And I was really intrigued that this stuff we consider as useless could have some kind of potential for healing people, for recouping the bacterial environment of your gut, and also that it could be filled with a kind of, not just as a waste, but an outpouring of these remainders of bacteria and viruses and things from our bodies. So the fact that there is this entire kind of other kingdom inside of us, of these other living creatures that make up almost as more of our cells than our own cells, made me completely look at feces in a whole different way. There's also the cultural shame and kind of problems that we have with thinking about shit and shitting. And I thought how amazing that all of a sudden this thing becomes a healing property for people and can be used, if you put it back in the body, to build regrowth. It's like completely counter to the way we think about this material, and I found it utterly fascinating. This idea of treating an environment and reshaping an environment of cells is something that is a paradigm shift within medical research, in my opinion. And I was really amazed by this. And also then to try and wrap my head around the idea that we have a responsibility, not just to our own selves. This idea of our identity shifts as we start to think of it, including these other bacterial and viral creatures that help us or hurt us, whichever way we take it. So yeah, I think that there's real potential there for something in the future. This could become a gift economy, like gifting the poop of someone that you really need, that has good stuff, whatever that is, to someone else is like awesome.
Yeah, so I just have to, you would have to poop in this and then,
right.
Then, but I have to see. I'll have to contact you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, of course.
And let you know.
And I'd be happy to provide.
Thank
yeah,
you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're sweet. Thanks.
So
thanks.
Oh, yeah. Of course. You'll
really,
let me know.
I will
please
definitely let you know. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
much. Yeah.
Thank you.
No. Thank you. Yeah.
I have a disease called Crohn's disease, which is an inflammatory bowel disease. One of the things that this disease does is that it is genetic, so I've inherited it. But I've found when I do looking at my own bacteria that it's not as diverse as someone who's been healthy. So I've taken a lot of antibiotics in my lifetime because they were prescribed to me. And I also have this condition. There's a way that has eliminated the diversity, the biodiversity of my gut. So that if I put mine next to yours, if you think you're healthy, and we sampled them and looked at all that bacteria, I may literally have half of the types of bacteria that you have. So this is a reduction. It's called dysbiosis, actually, but it's a reduction in that kind of rich, jungular environment that you really want a gut to have.
Hi.
Hey. How's it going?
Hi. Really
Nice
great
to
to
meet
meet you. Wow. Hi.
Really excited about this.
Are you? I'm a little nervous, but I'm glad.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
so much.
My pleasure. I really, my pleasure.
Cool. I guess, I mean, you know, we should just talk about the donation.
Sure.
And I mean, you know, I have a lot of problems, so I'm hoping that I can find the right person.
Yeah, well, you may have found the right person.
Oh my God. How's your poop?
It's really great.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've really worked at it.
So it depends on your condition, but it also depends on the kind of fecal matter that you're using to put into somebody's body. Each body has different conditions. We all have things like, maybe we all have cancer at this point, and our cancer will express when we get older due to environmental issues, due to all kinds of things that are affecting us and bombarding us every day. If that's the case and I get a fecal transplant from somebody else, maybe I'll get their cancer. Maybe I'll get their, I don't know, hair loss. We don't know.
She's had at least five courses of antibiotics for her C. diff. She's had several admissions because of C. diff. And so we will hopefully get rid of that cycle and start her new.
It's very hard to define what a healthy person is at this point in time. You can see that in the video I did with the interviews of different types of researchers, scientific researchers. They had a very hard time finding what constituted healthy. One of their definitions was a person who maybe didn't have any antibiotics. At this moment, we're facing a crisis with antibiotic resistance globally. Globally, it's a problem, and it will really catch up to us soon. We've been using this drug relentlessly to fix things, and now we've made it so that because of cross-transference, bacteria is smart. It can outsmart us, and it has. So now we might be in trouble from that. So, you know, what is healthy? What is diseased? I've been sick with Crohn's for over 2/3 of my life. So that means I've known this body of mine has known so-called sickness more than health. But have I really? This is my question. And sorry, I swallowed wrong. And now I'm like, health. I know, talking about health, now I'm getting sick. So the question is, when do you think of yourself as healthy and when do you think of yourself as not healthy? You know, my illness has taught me so much about living and about being healthy and about the potential for dying, that this could be the thing that actually makes me more conscious of health. So maybe that makes me more aware of what is disease and what is health. I think that these diseases, so-called, can be great teachers. Diseases can teach you struggle and pain, and then when you aren't in pain, what that affords you. So there's all kinds of things that diseases actually gift to us. I've been thinking about myself and my dysbiotic poop. It doesn't have as much biodiversity as some other people. And I think, it means I'm really not very healthy. But maybe it means I'm a mutant. Maybe I'm a mutant towards the future. If you look at vulture intestines, vultures, the big birds that are carnivores, that eat dead animals, disgusting. They don't have that much biodiversity in their gut. They have biodiversity on their face, which goes into the anus of an animal. Disgusting, I know, to get in there. But their gut, they only have some very toxic bacteria in there. Maybe we're evolving to become vulture. I mean, I know this is like a crazy concept, but maybe this is where we're going with it. And, but what we take in from the environment can really affect us, right? And so we need to start thinking about ways that works, and then these ideas, these kind of alternative ideas as to how we can make ourselves mutants, how the mutations that we have, that we're beginning to evolve, can be something to our advantage. We just learned there's microplastics in everybody's poop from all over the world. So we could think we're all screwed because we don't know what those microplastics do completely yet. We will look into it, we'll figure it out, but we don't know. And probably we won't be able to reverse whatever it does. So how do we go forward? Well, let's think how we can mutate into that. I wonder if instead of trying to eat like a healthier and healthier and healthier diet, which actually costs a lot of money to do, you kind of have to be rich to eat really, really, really healthy, or just live in the country and don't do anything except eat what you grow. But even then, who knows? So the answers are complicated in terms of this, and I worry what it means in terms of poverty, in terms of race. What are we saying when we're like, well, here's healthy, and that means, oh, you have a lot of money, you can go to the spa, you can, drink your green shakes, you can do whatever. This might not be the way to go culturally. We might not want to promote that. So, I think now that we know this bigger question of what the biome is, we're exchanging bacteria all the time. Right now, as I talk to you, I'm spewing bacteria out. And, we're breathing it just from the air. What are we sharing with each other? How can we work on that and think about ourselves as communities, internally, externally, and what we're sharing with each other? And can we affect our health that way? I think it'd be a better way to put our energies into something like that. The ways that people have to get through certain kinds of illnesses is really interesting when they can bring in alternative thinking to what the traditional medical system wants us to think about it. Because the medical system will make you, sick. This idea of abled bodies, I think, is a really profound notion. And I think that it's very hard to look at people and know what they can and cannot do just by looking at them. Because oftentimes abilities or disabilities, like disease, can be invisible. And someone can function really well, and you wouldn't know there was any problem with them. And then you find out, oh, you have la 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 la, really? And, it's to that person's strength that they were able to just figure out a way to work with it and figure out a way to continue. And that person is probably stronger because of it, because of their disease, their disability. And so I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's an easy thing to have, but I think people who can look at this as an opportunity to make a different kind of life for themselves, a differently abled life, it's an advantage in a way. We don't all want to be the same. We don't all want to be 100% healthy, and what would that be anyway?